Hey y'all, I'm Legit SaraJane. I'm the host of the Hunting Holiness podcast, and today I have a scorcher for you. Today I'm going to be talking with Steph Lane, who is going to tell us about some incredible stuff she does in the hunting industry, not just for women, not just for men, but for kids too. And I think you're going to be really excited by it. So, Steph, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So before we dig into the other things that you've been doing for a while, let's celebrate your new flashy accessory.
Yeah, you
Steph
did
got
so good.
engaged.
I got
Oh my
engaged like
gosh.
4 days ago.
That's so I what an incredible time.
Yeah.
What a beautiful time. Because it's all excitement and looking forward to you were just sharing with me off camera how you have such a huge group of people, that are your tribe, that are, the chosen family and then your actual family. Do you want to share with everybody a little bit about your community and why it maybe is so incredibly large?
Yeah. Well, like if anyone out there's been married before or has planned a wedding, sometimes I think and I think I've been in 14 weddings myself, and I have been married in the past. And so I have experienced like the pressure that can come with wedding planning and trying to figure out like who you want to invite, and like for us, like we are so blessed to have the issue of like we might have to cut people because
Yeah.
we have so many wonderful people in our lives. Like, and we don't really plan to do that. We kind of are going to probably be like, everybody come, like have a big party, come celebrate with us. Thomas and I are very lucky to have a ton of friends, very like big families that like celebrate us and love each other. And honestly, a lot of our friends that will be coming are part of like the hunting and outdoor community. And we're getting married in June because we don't want to get married during the hunting season because we want people to come and we don't want to
Right.
interrupt our own hunting season. Uh,
Or your own.
yeah.
Right. That's so awesome. So these friends that you've mentioned from the hunting community, how do you make friends in the community? How have you guys been able to meet so many like valued and like hobbied people?
Yeah. Before we were ever together, before we like found each other kind of thing, we are both people that are very involved. So he's actually the president of our Pheasants Forever chapter here. I'm on the board as well. I'm on the board for Safari Club of Iowa. I am very involved with multiple women's groups, naturally with my full-time job working with kids. I'm super involved. I just know a ton of people and like befriend them. Like we just are friendly people, and
You're
that
friendly.
yeah. And
You're easy to talk to and connect with.
yeah, and we just we were like that separately, and then together, I just think it just keeps growing from there. And we even though we have so much in common, like interest wise, like we're very different people. So we
Mhm.
just bring a very eclectic group of people to us, and I think we balance each other out really good. So it's just like fun that way. I had a podcast. I still have a podcast, Woods and Waters Project, for 5 years, and I made a ton of friends from that from all over the country. Thomas has a podcast, Have Dog Will Travel.
I used to have an Instagram called Have Dog Will Travel.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we lived in Tennessee.
that's amazing. I did not know that. Yeah, and so like between all of those things, he gives back to veterans a lot, does hunts for
Mhm.
them, does a lot with kids for my program and otherwise, and I do a lot with kids and a lot with women. So it just we just do so many things, and we just like to collect people as we go, I think,
I love that, collecting people. I
Yeah.
collect hobbies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Same.
I would often, especially in my teens and 20s, if I knew how to do something and somebody else knew how to do something I didn't, I would be like, "Hey, I'll teach you to wakeboard if you teach me to longboard." Or I'll teach you how to cook this if you'll teach me how to clean that or whatever.
Yeah.
And between ADHD and all of the other, yeah,
Same.
so I would hyper focus, get super into something, and then burn myself out on it, but have made friends along the way. So yeah, I think
Yes.
we're very kindred that way.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what an incredible blessing and joy to when we were talking off camera, you were talking about basically the entire town where your husband grew up and being community. not just, hey, we see each other here or there and we know who everyone is because it's such a small town, but like how do we feed all these people and get them to be a part of our big day because we care about everyone. And that's
Y
what an incredible blessing, especially for someone like me who came from, I didn't grow up in the city, I grew up in the suburbs. And anybody from South Florida jokes that it's the smallest big city in anywhere in the world because everybody knows everybody. However, it was nothing like that.
yeah.
Nothing like that at all. We still didn't know most of our neighbors and it just really wasn't. I'm envisioning like a Gilmore Girls or Heart of Dixie style, like center square with the little shops and a gazebo in the middle and like summer fairs and pumpkin festivals and stuff.
Yeah, well, you're not super far off on that. It's like this might be like a bad example, but this is like when it like clicked for me and opened my eyes a lot to his family and like the community I'm a part of now is funerals, weddings, grad parties. Okay. Like it's only the population's like 1,000 people. But when someone passes away, when someone's getting married, any sort of celebration of life or death or whatever, everybody shows up. Like I'm from still a smaller town in Iowa, but it's like 5,000 people where not everyone still might not know everybody, right? Like they do, but they know of you. But this area, they know where you live, who lived in that house before you, and who lived in your house before that. And they know your grandparents, and half of you are probably related in some way. But the way that they show up for each other is like so beautiful. And like I've never been to so many funerals where it's like there's like 300 people at the luncheon because truly like they all cared about this one person so much like because they've known
They
him.
all have a story with this person that made an impact on their life. It sounds idyllic. It
Yeah, it really
sounds
it seems like a nothing town, but then once you're in it, the way that they care for you is like so big. And a big thing with like our wedding that I've already done some planning in 4 days. I was telling you offline about, but something I fell in love with and why I've enjoyed it so much is like our where we're getting married in the venue and like some of the food. Well, everything so far is coming from this town and everyone is just like wrapping their arms around us and like it's just been going so smoothly and everyone wants to be helpful and it's like all going to happen from like where my like future husband's from and I just think that's like such a beautiful thing.
yeah.
It's very sweet and I feel very lucky to have the backing of all these people.
I'm having so many feelings about it
You know,
on
me
your
too.
behalf. Like I'm not even involved and I'm over here just like feel like because of the way that I mentally process, I'm literally picturing the whole thing in my mind. And it is so beautiful. And I'm just like, okay, Virgin River meets like I'm like piecing all of these storylines together and I'm just wow, what an
Yeah.
incredible that is so cool. And not only is it people that your future husband is well acquainted and associated with and are truly friends, not just like fake Facebook friends. But it sounds like they've welcomed you into that community as well as part of the family, even though you're just now getting married and you care about those people, not because you're obligated as his girlfriend or fiance or future
No.
wife, but because they're good people and you want to love them.
Yeah, like there are so many people. I could give so many examples, but that like we've joked like sometimes if we've like fought and stuff, I've said this to him at the end of a fight when we're like laughing it off or whatever. I'm like, "Don't you mess up these relationships for me. These are like
Yeah.
my second family. Don't you mess this up." Like I'll say like just being playful about it. But there are people that I mean, like I cannot picture my life without anymore. Like I think that's so amazing to think about as a human, especially as an adult. Like you naturally start to lose friends or you're not as close to some people, you move, like some people have kids, some don't, high pressure
Mhm.
jobs, some don't. It just like life changes and it's not to be hurtful. It just happens to all of us. And to still be making these like friends and connections with people that are so important to me, like in my mid 30s is so cool to me. Like these are people like they're some of my best friends.
It sounds like you
And
make an effort though too.
I
Like
do. I'm
you
pretty
go you
yeah.
show up when
Yeah.
there is a something to celebrate or a life or a wedding or a baby or whatever, that you show up just like they show up for each other as well. And
Yeah.
for a lot of us, it's interesting that you bring up the idea that, especially in your mid 30s, you start losing friends, because I just had this conversation with someone last week, just encouraging them that, this is normal. It's
Yeah.
okay to outgrow your friends. Just because you have history doesn't mean you have like some deep, meaningful future. Some
Yeah.
people are there for a season, and as everybody follows careers and marriages, and like you said, kids or no kids, or how they want to spend their time, or even how much financial freedom they have,
Yeah.
they start going down a path, and you start going down a path, and it's not that either person is wrong. You
Yeah.
just literally grow apart,
Yep.
and it's normal. But
Yeah.
you have just solidified how important community is, because it's not just for your wedding. These people, sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like if you need something, you have 50 people you could call.
I really
If you
do.
want support with something, or you want to have one of your events, which I would love to talk about as well. And it's not just that you need from them, it's that you're giving to them as well. It's a two-way street. They make an effort, you make an effort, and it all just gels.
Yeah, it really does. Thomas, my fiance, threw me a surprise birthday party in July. And there's like a video, it's like so embarrassing. And when he proposed and my surprise party, he genuinely threw me off guard, which I'm like a really hard person to do that to, because I analyze everything and like emotionally take everything in, and you can't like surprise me. And
And
he's
as
like,
an event planner, you have very keen
yeah,
attention to detail. So you're looking for all the things that are out of place because they naturally stand out to you. And
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And my surprise party was at the place where our reception's going to be, which is part of what I loved also, because when I walked in and there was like 40 people there, uh, and I'm 3 hours away from my hometown where a lot of like my important people weren't able to
Yeah.
make it. There's a video of me like walking in and like I'm like really shocked, and I see all these people I like love to pieces, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I know everybody in the room. I love all of you." And they're like, "Steph, this is for you." And I was like, "No." Like I'm like, "These are not all for me." They're like, "We're all here for you." And they're all like looking at me like, "This is your party." And I just start bawling.
You're like, oh, I thought this was just Saturday night in this town.
Yeah, and so when I was processing that I've only been up here for a couple years, and like all these women made all this food, and all these people got me like gifts, and all these like everyone wanted to just talk to me, and they all went in and got a band for me, and like
Wow.
I was like so overwhelmed all night, and I just felt like I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if 10 people were there, but to genuinely feel like I have this like real authentic connection with like all these people in the room, and none of them were even like my like best friends and family. Like
Right.
it I felt so supported and like so loved, and I get super homesick. So to like genuinely feel like I have a home away from my people is like I am like the luckiest girl in the world. I really feel that
Sounds
way.
like it.
Yeah.
And you get to hunt and fish and be in the woods with the man that you love and the people that you love. I mean, I think you are living the ultimate country song. I'll just say, like, not the old school 90s ones, that the joke was always like, what happens when you lose your dog, your truck, and your wife in the same week? You're in a country song. Not that. Man, I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky. I'm so genuinely happy, and I can't believe this is my life version. Like, I,
Yeah.
I feel like your life is my Pinterest board all come together. And I have like
It's
20,000 positions.
definitely
So,
it's definitely not perfect, but I am the happiest I've ever been. Not just like on the outside, like the physical things, but like inside, I'm also just like the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And it took like work and healing and wonderful people coming into my life to be that way. But like my outside is like a reflection of my inside right now too. I've just never been so like aligned and just like joyful and happy in my whole life.
wow.
Yeah. So
I'm just like
I'm
soaking
really
it.
grateful and so blessed. And I I I gratitude journal almost every day. I pray every day. I am like thanking God, like, oh my God, keep all these people safe. And like 'Cause I also feel like I have so much to lose because I have so much love in my life,
Mm,
so I'm always like, "Just keep my people safe."
yep,
So,
I get that.
yeah, so I am like my cup is, overflowing right now without a doubt.
Well, and because your cup's overflowing, you're able to pour into all of these other groups and
Yeah,
events and
absolutely.
activities. Of course, I shared with you that my heart is really for the next generation, not just teaching them how to shoot a gun or how to hunt or whatever, but because of those connections and being able to mentor them or speak into their life in a way that gives them hope and encourages them and empowers them and
Yeah.
teaches them the skills to be able to really thrive as adults. So that part of your life is really close to my heart. So would you mind sharing a little bit more about it? I know we briefly talked about it, but I want to
Yeah.
know more.
So full time, I work for a nonprofit called Pass It On Outdoor Mentors. I've been there for a little over 4 years. I am the Iowa coordinator and now the Missouri coordinator until we hire someone in Missouri, but I live up in northeastern Iowa, born and raised in Iowa. And so my job is right this year I'll coordinate over 200 hunting and fishing events for kids across the state.
Mm,
Yeah, it's crazy. And then we're based out of Kansas. We started in Kansas 20 plus years ago, but then about 5 years ago, the company really just like they hired our now CEO Brittany, who is incredible. She really like took it and like helped us like grow and expand to multiple states now. But we're in Kansas, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and then all of us coordinators in these states are also piloting states. So we're getting into Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri.
when are you coming to Bama?
Yeah, we, like, have so many we just keep saying, "And this one, and this one, and this one," but we have to, like, go slow about it, but every time we think we're just gonna just add one more state, it's like there's so many cool opportunities, you know? But any kid can sign up for our hunts, they're free mentored hunts, youth 11 to 22 years old, they do have to have hunter's ed to go hunting, not fishing, but hunting. It's part of, like, one, like, insurance, but also encourages kids to, like, have that knowledge of the outdoors
Yeah.
and be prepared before they go into it. And it helps protect the mentor too if the kid is coming in with a little bit of knowledge as well.
Not just muzzle safety, which obviously is
Yeah.
in major concern, but just even to better understand what they're stepping into if they don't come from a family or a background where this is normal. They may think, oh, this would be really cool, but then they start to learn about it and they either have some fear to work through or some confidence to work through, or they're a little bit overconfident and you got to,
Absolutely.
work them
Absolutely.
down to a humble level and teach them about conservation and,
Yeah.
all of that stuff
Our
too.
our mentors have been so great. Like to mentor through for our program, you just have to there's a link on our site, like outdoormentors.org, but you can go to
Yeah,
participate or go to mentor. Both will have a link on how to either sign up a kid or to mentor. And then you basically do a background check that takes like 5 minutes and you're connected with like your corresponding coordinator based on where you are. And then we do like in Iowa, we do a game violation check to make sure you don't have like a bunch of
right.
poaching in your record or something. And then you
Yeah.
and I just would have a conversation about like, do you like to coyote hunt? Do you like to pheasant hunt? What does that look like? Where do you want to go? And then I create the event, find the kids, put on social media, like do all the behind the scenes. And then we just take kids hunting with safe,
Is this
passionate
public
adults.
land, private land? Do they have to have, like, their own property for host this stuff on, or
Mm,
do you help with that? And then how do you like, is it one-on-one? Is it one to a group? Tell me more. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
I wanna be in the
Yeah, so it totally depends. We do sometimes we get special access for land, like, there's certain groups that manage land that sometimes can open them up for hunts, and, like, we can get special access a lot of times. But having a whole state and any state in the United States, the hunting and the game and the landscape is different in every part of it, so
Right.
it just really depends on the population, who we have for mentors, what the hunting is like there. So we do public, private, preserves, and special access, whatever makes sense. I will say, like, oftentimes mentors have places they already want to take kids. And part of that, like, we can help them find places, but a lot of times, like, with hunting comes scouting and knowing where the animals are. So sometimes putting someone on a piece of land they don't know anything about can be like a little tricky.
Really helpful.
Yeah, but But, like, in Iowa, I'm super excited this year. If you know what depredation tags are, like, landowners get tags to help manage their deer populations, and they get all these extra tags. Well, we're working with our first 2 landowners this year who have all these depredation tags, and they're like, "Yeah, bring the mentors and kids here, and they'll be in a safe place where they don't have to worry about, like, the Orange Army and can hunt there." So, we have a lot of cool things that we do. We work with upland preserves. We have a budget for pheasant, quail preserves, and it's a cool way for mentors who have dogs to, like, run their dogs for free, but also, like, be giving back to kids at the same time. So,
Yay.
yeah, like,
That
we can do
works.
all the things within
Yeah.
reason. Like, if there's the resources, and sometimes it's hard because we get mentors or kids that might be in this, like, corner of the state that we just don't have a lot of, like, resources yet. We've only been in Iowa for a little over 4 years. So,
Mhm.
that sounds like a long time, but when you're the only person,
You still
it
have so many
yeah,
relationships to
like,
build.
I'm managing 200 hunts. I don't have the capacity to call 100 more people, like,
Right,
sometimes, you know?
right.
But it's a slow roll, and it grows and grows every year, and we're doing all the right things, and everything's going really well. So we'll only be adding to, like, what we can do, as time goes.
That's so awesome. I
Yeah,
love it. And then in your free time, when you're not planning hunts, you're either hunting or you're hanging out with other people who hunt, talking about hunting.
that's right. It's my whole personality, which is, like, probably dangerous sometimes. Like, it's not my whole personality, but pretty much. So I have my own organization as well that I had before I was with Outdoor Mentors. It's called Woods and Waters Project, which I briefly mentioned before.
Yeah.
I had my podcast with that, but then I also teach adults how to hunt, and I primarily focus on women. I host retreats and workshops for women that either are teaching them how to hunt and fish, or it's uh, like an excursion. Like, I just got back from Kentucky. Me and 2 ladies stayed out there for 5 days trying to get a velvet buck, and that wasn't so much a learning, but I have been hunting my entire life. I went to guide school. I have been taking people hunting from a young age. I'm not an expert, I feel like I have so much to learn in so many areas, but I feel like I can really help people. I was an archery instructor, so
Yeah.
with these ladies, they have me there to help them with, like, their shooting possibly, or, like, target panic, or is their equipment malfunctioning? Like, I feel like even the ones they're not learning, I'm still an added value to be there because I can help them build their confidence and help them with some
Yes.
skills while we're out there.
Yes. A
Yeah,
million percent.
that's like
Yeah.
I like the teaching process. Like, I'm always learning, I'm always consuming more information and going with people that are more experienced than me. And I just want to, and then I just pour that back into my ladies. Like, I want you to know all the things I know. I want you to, like, if you want to know it, if you want all the information, I'm here as much as I can to support you. But yeah, so I do that in my free time. So I don't really have free time.
You are very generous with your time and your energy and your skills. And you may not think of yourself as an expert, but I have said for years that as cool as Tony Robbins is, people don't necessarily feel comfortable learning from somebody who's so many steps ahead of them. They want to learn from somebody like you who has expertise, who has a lifetime wealth of knowledge and wisdom and has seen a lot of stuff and
Yeah,
worked through a lot of problems. And your expertness comes from making them comfortable that if something goes wrong, you can help,
yeah,
not that they have to, reach this perceived, high
yeah,
status before they can spend time with you or meet you or learn from you, but that
yeah.
you're actually approachable and you want to be a part of sharing with them,
Thank you.
which
Yeah,
can be rare. I think a lot of people, and we don't have to go down this rabbit hole, but it just made me think about how the hunting industry, I think for some people, especially women who may not have grown up with it that way, or like I didn't actively start hunting until I was in late high school, early college. But it was something that was done in my family and I was comfortable doing. I was excited. I just didn't have a lot of opportunities because of other involvements. And I'm the only girl, and my dad traveled for work, and my mom wasn't going to go hunting. She prayed for Bambi every time he went. Like, that just wasn't my lifestyle. But I
yeah,
think that there are a lot of women who see it as something they actively want to do, but they're afraid that they don't have enough either background, or they're not prepared enough, or they don't know enough. And how often is that the same story with people who want to go to church for the first time? Right?
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I wasn't raised in church, so they're all going to judge me. I don't have all the right tools, so they're going to judge me." Just like women or even men or kids, like, I don't have a gun, but I want to go hunting, or I only have my grandfather's hand me down, the same way somebody has like a hand me down Bible. Like, I think it's incredible to me how it all comes back to getting in the right community where you can feel welcomed exactly where you are and who you are. And the growth comes from that, not from something you're supposed to do or achieve before you can be welcomed into that group.
Yeah, I love that. That's so well said. I completely agree. And I do feel like like when I was really starting all this, like I don't know if it sounds corny or not, but it was just very real for me. I felt this nagging inside of like you need to be doing this. Like take a step
Mhm.
into this. Take a step forward. Like this is your calling. Like I was
Mhm.
telling people in my life at the time back in like 2016, 17, like I feel like people looked at me like I had 10 heads, but I was like, I feel like God, the universe, my ancestors are like trying to shake me and be like, hey, you're supposed to do this. And I was just like holding back because every time I said at the time, like my ideas or like my dreams out loud, I wasn't probably with the right people at the time when I would share them, where they're just
Right.
like, no, don't do that. But I still felt like I needed to do it. And so many amazing things have happened just from me taking like aligned action. Like not
Yeah.
sometimes I didn't even hit these goals I had in my head. Like I didn't even hit the goal. Some things I
Mhm.
kind of tried and like gave up, but all of it created this like all these amazing opportunities for me, and connections and self-confidence and becoming the better version of myself.
Yeah.
It just felt like a calling since I was a little girl. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice, but my first memory ever is hunting. Stuck in my head when I was 4 years old, duck hunting with my dad and my uncles and like flooded timber. And like I remember my dad was picking up the ducks, and not all of them were completely dead. And he was like staring at me. Like I have brothers and all uncles. Like he's like, I don't
You're like,
know.
"Is she gonna make it? Is she gonna
Yeah,
be
like
able to handle this?"
and I still remember his like look and like, well, I'm either gonna get her or ruin her. And I just like took it with like took it in stride, and I just kept wanting to go. And now my dad, I told my mom the other day, he's like, we've created a monster, but because it's like all I do. I have
Sounds like they opened the gate to who you were created to be and become.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's created to be a hunter necessarily, but I do think that the outdoors is the way that I help people.
Yeah.
Like
In Christianese, we call it your territory. Like, who are the people that I'm supposed to impact positively for their lives or in their lives? And how do I reach them? And
yeah,
your avenue is specifically hunting. Mine is young adults in America. Like, God told me straight up, I had this same urge that you did. It was like boiling up, but I
yeah,
knew that it wasn't me because I couldn't not do it. I couldn't not
yeah,
write this out or say
yeah,
this thing or put this together. And then when I started, it just sort of came, Project Heaven just sort of fell together masterfully. And yes, there were issues and speed bumps and things changed from the original vision. But all that to say, I think this is your territory, and it's the mode that you reach people. And I think all of us, whether believers or non-believers, or everyone was created to live in community, and that doesn't mean it has to be the people on your street. You've learned that from, your fiance's huge neighborhood, aka town, that welcomed you with open arms. You've seen that with your outreach stuff where you're welcoming other people in. And I think that we all have that natural innate desire to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And it's just a matter of finding that thing that we can get passionate about and that we can love, and then finding people who do that thing or who are interested in that same topic or love doing or eating or being or whatever, And then finding the people who will embrace you exactly as you are, not trying to fit ourselves into some mold that we think a stereotype is.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I really in the like I knew it was something bigger than just the outdoors, like what I was doing, but I'm just like I just love like hunting and the outdoors so much that like yeah, I'll just keep like in that lane as much as I can. And what really came from it and has like helped me, and I've said this so many times in other ways, but I will never stop saying it, especially the women's stuff is like really, I started that before working with the kids, but I could say the same thing about working with kids is, I'm coming at it like I'm teaching them, helping them, empowering them, helping them see like what they're great at. Cause I feel like that's like a gift that
Hmm.
I have is like, I think I see the good in people. Sometimes that can be a detriment to me, I suppose, but I do think I see the good in people and I can see where people's gifts and skill sets are too. And like I feel like
Yeah.
I was a headhunter for years. So my job was to find people the perfect job like they were good at. So I feel like that's something that's where I do well. And I think this hunting is my tool and helping people realize like, no, you think you suck at everything. You don't. Here's all the awesome things you're good at. Like this is what
Right.
you're bringing. Fix these little things, but focus on like what you're great at and like just you're like I feel like that's where I can really help people and what I see. And that's how I came in at this in the beginning. But what I didn't expect to happen was like just especially with women, like you gather and you talk and you connect and crazy deep stuff comes up naturally.
Hmm.
And me sharing things that I've been through in my life with these women has helped a lot of them.
Hmm.
And in return, the things that they've shared with me or advice they've given me, or they've stepped in and seen things in my life where I'm not really, in the past, not one to ask for help. And these ladies would just kind of push their way through. They're like, no, like we got you. And it was just like, going bow fishing or going deer hunting and like these become like my sisterhood of
Right.
women and
Yeah.
the way that they have like built me up and empowered me and helped me heal and like is like 10 times more than I feel like I've ever done for them.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get
And
that.
the
Everything you
kids are
just said, I feel like has come out of my mouth
yeah.
in working with other people. I feel like we're very kindred. Just the way that God built us to love people and the way that he loves us in return and shows us that we matter, not just to other people, but to him by allowing us the honor of being in the positions in the opportunities that he's given us, whether it be a one-on-one relationship or, an outreach or a job or whatever that like,
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm from previous conversations. I agree with you on like all of that, like the kindred spirits and the position we're in. And like I can tell we're both like we just love people. And sometimes it was like when you had said earlier, it's like, well, you sounds like you show up for people too. And I was like, yeah. I was like, because I'm like annoyingly persistent. I will make you love me.
you
Like
may not like
jokingly.
me yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't know that you need me in your life, but I'm not going anywhere. And that's just like a joke that, like my fiance will say, he'll be like, okay, I love you. Go away. Like I'm just like there in people's space. But
My husband, he literally will look me in the face and be like, "Give me a kiss. I love you. Go away." And I'm like, "No, pay attention." My mom and I always used to joke, "Pay attention to me. I need attention right now." And so he'll actually be like, "Do you need attention? Because I don't."
yeah.
Like,
This is so
he's like,
relatable.
"Go find your people. Go talk to
Yes.
somebody else."
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And I just like being a safe place for people. That's just what I love, but in return, I now have like all these safe places too. Like I have all these people who just like really got me. And then working with kids is like it's the same but a little different. Like I feel like I'm kind of with kids in my head like I really feel like I need to show up and like be with women too, but be an example and like be the strong one and like take care of them and make sure they're safe. And I'm like that with ladies too, absolutely. But
In a different way.
yeah, it's
It's
just
just
in a different
different.
way. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just these kids now, especially since I've been doing this for 4 years, there are kids that are adults now that I've been mentoring for 4 years. So I've seen them like start high school to graduate to like having jobs and having relationships. And like I'm friends with their parents and they invite me to stuff. And like this year, I um, cried so much because a lot of my kids that I've been mentoring for 4 years, like,
They turn 23 and they can't come back?
yeah, well, they can come back, but they're in college or they moved or
Yeah.
they're like pursuing other stuff. Some of them are coming back to actually mentor. Like some of these kids are coming to now mentor other kids, which I think is like the best.
Full circle.
Yeah, so it's like it's just like it's wonderful. All of it's great, and that's what it's all about is like them giving back. Because I think there is like I think Steve Ranella from Meat Eater talks about this maybe, but it's kind of like the levels of a hunter, like how you go through your process of becoming outdoorsman. Like in the beginning, it's like learning. Then you're kind of like in your selfish stage where it's like
Mhm.
me, I'm hunting for me. And then you eventually get to the point of like giving back, getting involved, taking other people to see
Yeah.
some of these kids like be 18 and like wanting to already give back is like so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of them. And
Says a
yeah.
lot about what you've built and the culture as well. And I think that it's super valuable. And I would love to, when you guys come to Alabama, Mississippi, or Tennessee, we're in North Alabama. So all those places are close. Heck, Georgia's close. I mean, we're like, everything's right here. But
Yeah.
please don't hesitate to reach out. And if I can make any connections for you or support y'all in any way, please don't hesitate because, like I said, this is very close to my heart. And after our now 2.5 conversations, we'll call it, I feel like you and I are so equally aligned just with not not only our lifestyle, but our hope for the future, for other generations, for people, and for the industry as a whole. Thank you so much for sharing so much of yourself and your story. And congratulations again. Oh my
Thank you
gosh. I
so
can't wait
much.
for June now just to see your pictures and the flooded masses of people that'll be there to celebrate you and make sure that you and Thomas know how loved and appreciated you are. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for being a guest. I would love to have you on again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'd love to be on again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And we are going to stay in touch. You
Yes.
you
Please.
can't lose me now.
No, I hope
I'm going to
so.
make you like
Yeah.
me.
You already did. It's all right. I enjoyed this so much and I don't know, can I keep talking every stop?
Yeah, we'll take it offline.
Okay.
But thank you, everybody. If you're not following us yet, check us out on social media on TikTok, Legit SaraJane, Instagram, Legit SaraJane, and Hunting and Holiness Pod, YouTube, all your podcast stuff. And then also, if you want to find out more about what Steph's doing, how her different many organizations and offerings exist, and what you can do to either sign up a kid, become a mentor with her day job, or become a part of any of the women's organizations or her organization, Woods and Water, I'm going to put links to everything in the description below. So make sure that you head downstairs and go through and get to know Steph a lot more based on all of the things that she has so graciously shared with the community and the world. So, all right, everybody, love you.